Hi everyone, I'm Ali Graymond. I'm an OCD recovery coach with more than 10 years of experience helping people recover from OCD. Prior to that, I had severe OCD myself that I fully recovered from, and as do my clients. So if you wonder, can you fully recover from OCD? Absolutely, yes, you can. Today, I wanted to talk to you about what counts as rumination. So, if you're tracking the time, which you should be, however you want to track it, write it on a piece of paper, write it on a giant whiteboard if you want to, just write it somewhere because that accountability is so huge for recovery. I mean, I can tell you that working with clients, ever since we started to do the tracking, which was a few years ago, the accountability went up and the results went up. I mean, what we were able to accomplish in 6 months, people are now accomplishing in a month. And it's not a rare thing. So people are coming to me with severe OCD and they're going through, I would say, most of it, let's say 90% of it, in the course of 30 days. I know it seems impossible to you, but just try it for yourself. And here I want to talk about what counts as rumination. So, what you should be tracking. So, what you should be tracking is A, anytime you are reacting, taking seriously the thoughts that have to do with your theme directly. So, say you have, let's say, harm OCD theme, and thoughts come in, something is going to happen, you have to do something to fix it, right? So you have to ruminate or do some sort of a compulsion. Otherwise, something bad is going to happen, or maybe something bad happened, and you have to make sure, was it true or was it not, right? However, or something bad might happen in the future. So however it comes in, that's all automatic. So that you are not tracking because you have no control over it, right? It comes in as it comes in. Now it's your turn. Your response. What do you respond to these thoughts? Are you like, let me pull up a chair and listen very carefully and take it seriously and ruminate for hours? Maybe I'll go on the internet and ask somebody. Maybe I'll ask my relatives. Maybe I'll ask everybody. Then I'll ruminate for a few hours. Now that is all you. It might feel like you don't have a choice, but your brain is taking that reaction that you have and is understanding your reaction to mean that the thoughts are important. The part of your brain that's sending these thoughts are viewing these thoughts as just ones and zeros on the computer screen, how the computer is viewing what you're seeing on the screen. Just ones and zeros. It doesn't understand the content. It doesn't get what the thought is about. But it gets that this type of thought, you have this reaction to. And if you have a reaction of importance, then it must be important. And if you also have a reaction of fear, it must give you an automatic reaction of fear. So that's why the thoughts come in with fear. Then, as you start to do recovery work, they'll come in with less fear. At this point, people are like, I'm not even feeling fear to this. What's wrong? That's just normal process of recovery. But going back to what counts as rumination. What counts as rumination is your response to the thoughts. But that's not all. What also counts as rumination is when you're asking others, when you are Googling, so not when you're just sitting and thinking, but when you're also engaging in behavior. Also, what counts as rumination is ruminating about the feelings that go along with these thoughts. Feelings of guilt, feelings of shame, feelings of hopelessness, feelings of depression, developing a depression theme for a lot of people. What if I'm depressed? That can become a secondary theme that can develop as well. And just to kind of side note of that is you feel depressed, meaning you feel sad because you're in a sad situation. So the brain is reacting accordingly. You're sad, because you're in a sad situation. When you get out of the sad situation, you will no longer be sad. So you need to deal with the root cause, which is the OCD. So even these thoughts that are kind of unrelated, but I just feel bad, and you start to ruminate about that, but I feel like a bad person, and you ruminate about that, or you Google that, or you ask people, am I a bad person? all those things still count. You're still powering up OCD when you do that. So anytime you are thinking of any of those things, it counts as tracking. And you can take the tracking, if you're not using the app, you can take it from the picture here and just copy it over to the piece of paper and track every single day. It's just about doing it. I wouldn't push so hard on the tracking if I honestly didn't see that it works. It works with every single person who is doing it. So it's just about pushing through. And it gets easier as you kind of get into this. The big thing with OCD overall is to start to think about it like a game. Like, this is what happened yesterday. Okay, so I had this many minutes, and I actually like to break down each time period as a separate thing entirely, because your morning, you can only compare to your morning of day 2, because mornings are different than afternoons and different than evenings in terms of how you feel, right? A lot of people feel way worse in the mornings. So look at it as individual exercises that you're doing throughout the day. So how did you do in the morning, day 1 versus day 2? Did you do better on day 2? Okay, good. Then next test, afternoon, and make it like a game. A lot of clients actually tell me that after a while of doing this and becoming good at the game, it actually becomes kind of weirdly fun, if that's that, because you start to see it, OCD, not as what does this mean about me, but as an opponent that you're playing this game with, of who's gonna beat whom the next day. Let's see, bring your best. I got it. And then it stops being scary and starts to be just a challenge that you're little by little overcoming. I hope you find my videos helpful. Thank you so much for listening. If you haven't seen our forum, please take a look. I will actually be adding a new section to the forum, which will be the accountability section. I probably will make a video on it tomorrow. But I find that for each individual OCD theme, it's important to have a place where people who are doing recovery work and tracking can share their experiences and encourage each other to keep going. Because when you're fighting this, you always feel like you're the only one dealing with this, and it's just not true. So if you have that experience and you go on the forum and you see like, hey, other people are doing this as well, they're also doing recovery work, and it's also difficult for them, and they're doing it, and they're pushing through, and they're recovering, and that gives you encouragement as well. The reason why I created the forum in the first place, because guys, honestly, I'm so sick of seeing forums where all people do is complain without any even any desire to do recovery work whatsoever. And then when you write to them, you should just do ERP, you can feel better, you can recover. Like, no, I'm okay. It's like, it's sad because all you want to do is help them and tell them that it works and tell them that you've done it and that other people have done it and you can do it. And they're like, So, but this can be a place where we encourage each other and we can actually post results, and you see that progress. And when you see that, hey, this person who started out, this is what I see in sessions all the time, that this person who started out in such a severe situation is now doing so much better. You can see that progression, and that inspires you to do better, and it inspires people who are just starting out, because when you're starting out, it's kind of like you don't see the light at the end of the tunnel. You think that it's never gonna lift, but then you look and you see like, hey, well, it lifted for this person and for this person and for this person, so then why not for me? So I hope you support me in that. I will be back tomorrow with another video, and I'm hoping to do the accountability for each specific. So for one for HOCD, one for harm OCD, one for Puro. Probably today, tomorrow morning-ish. So please check that out. All the information is, as always, on youhaveocd.com. You can find the program there. You can find the forum there. I hope to see you there. And I have also a section to Ask Ali on there as well. See you tomorrow.